We are some schedule,
Yeah, so there are a lot of things that went wrong with the Arsenal team today. The lack of physicality, like we've spoken about, the physicality regards the limitations, if I should put it that way. Rob Holding, his lack of pace, his lack of strength, it was heavily exploited by West Ham this afternoon. And one of the reasons why I said that Arteta was that naive, when you have a 2-goal cushion, you do not necessarily need to stick to the script. So you understand? That's where experience comes in.
What could Arteta have done anything different from what he did today?
I think that what Arteta could have done, because when West Ham went down by 2-0, what they did was that they put a lot of bodies in that midfield and then tried to stifle Arsenal getting balls into the 18-yard of West Ham. You understand? So what quickly Arteta should have done was to put more bodies in that midfield. You understand? I mean, change the tactic, change the scenario, change the situation, and make sure that at the end of the day you are stifling the onslaughts that West Ham eventually had to launch. You understand? So I think that was one of the tactical naiveties Arteta displayed on the day, and they paid for it heavily. I have always told you people that people have called me a prophet of doom. People have called me the devil. People have called me all sorts of...
Arsenal, since we started the show, since we started previewing this season and the potential winners, even when Arsenal had close to about 9 points, 11 points cushion, you still felt that they would not win, the league title. You still stand by that? Or today's game literally plays into your hands.
In your synopsis, you spoke about the fact that you do not know what is happening to the players by now. You do not know what is happening in that Arsenal dressing room by now. In my mind, in that dressing room, they know it's done. It's finished. In that dressing room, they know it is finished. I mean, listen, they have a stretch, and I do not want to sound a broken record, but they have a stretch where they get to play City, Chelsea, actually Newcastle, Brighton.
Excuse me.
It will make you cough. It will actually make you cough, because that is a terrible, dangerously terrible stretch. You understand? I mean, so obviously you would have to cough. I mean, even if you're on air.
But ironically, one thing a lot of people are losing sight of is City also have some difficult games coming up. City, after that Arsenal game on Wednesday, go away to play Brighton. Brighton are one of the brightest spots in the league under Roberto De Zerbi. City have an away game to play against. City have an away game to play against one of these, relegation-threatened sides. When it gets to this stretch, you expect that these teams will try to derail some of these top clubs who are fighting for the title, especially when their survival hinges on either a win or a draw. City also have a game against Chelsea, let's not forget, though it's at the Etihad. So for me, I think that both teams have equally difficult games. Yes, on paper, Arsenal look like they have the most difficult games, having to go away to Newcastle, very, very crucial, having to go away at the Etihad. Very, very, very difficult game. They play at home to Chelsea. I think that that game is a given for Arsenal. But guys, what do you think? We started off the discussion looking at that blip. I'll call it a blip. Yes, I still believe in Arsenal. In Arsenal, we believe. I still believe in Arsenal. I don't care what Kofi and the likes are saying, but I still believe in Arsenal. I still see it as a blip. What do you make of Arsenal's blip today? Do you still think that they have what it takes to cross the hurdle? We want to engage you in the comment section. So send us your comments, and we are sorry for that slight breaking transmission, but I'm glad we're back on air, as well as we are live on YouTube. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to our channel Sport 101. Like the videos, engage with us in the comment section. Kofi,
yes.
Do you feel that Arsenal is gradually capitulating to the heat that City is giving to them? We spoke about they feeling the heat, but I think that one thing that personally I was a bit disappointed is the lack of leadership on the pitch this afternoon. when Arsenal went 2 goals up and West Ham came back, you could see that there was nobody in that team or on the field of play motivating the boys or galvanizing the boys to say, guys, let's go at them. You could see, like I said, on the body, the posture of the players, the mannerism and the look on the faces of the players look like they had someone giving up. So I was like, what's going on? It's just a draw. There are a lot of games that are coming up, but
That's not
it
just
was
a draw.
so. Where was Granit Xhaka, who should be the leader on the pitch? Who else? The captain, Odegaard, Partey,
the
all
Black
these
Stars
all
captain.
these senior players who are
Standing
supposed to
captain.
galvanize the boys. And somebody like Gabriel Jesus, you've seen it all in 2018, 2019. You did it to Liverpool. 19 games winning on the bounce. You overtook Liverpool. You won. You've done it before, guys. There's a way I feel that they could have motivated the boys to even find a way to win this game, because it was not so much loss. So one thing I was not excited seeing in relation or with regards to today's game was the lack of leadership on the pitch. If this thing continues, if the lack of leadership continues on the pitch, if there's nobody who would literally motivate these boys, to play above themselves and let them know that there's something to play for, I think that I'm tempted to bow down to you and say that you said it, Arsenal might lose this league.
Well, I will repeat it again. The league is already gone. I don't know why you are going around in circles talking about the fact that they might lose this league. The league is already lost. And one of the things, I buy into your school of thought about leadership. And one of the things that I think was very pivotal in the course of this game had to be that decision to allow Saka to play that penalty kick.
But he's always I saw a tweet online where people were actually saying that why did Saka, but Saka has been their number one.
Gabriel Jesus picked up the ball.
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus has an excellent record playing those penalty kicks.
Likewise, Saka.
Yes, I agree. But I mean,
he is their number one.
No, because if you look at penalty kicks and the execution, you would have to gauge the mood of the player. You'd have to gauge the flow of the game. And in that game, up until that point, Saka was almost peripheral.
Today he was
almost peripheral.
Non-existent.
So psychologists will tell you that you let him stay away from that penalty kick as far as possible, because this is where leadership comes in. Listen, the Liverpool team that was able to go with City toe to toe, it was not because they were exceptionally blessed with a lot of talent. It was because there were too many leaders in those ranks. And for me, I think that if you look at the Liverpool team, from the goalkeeping spine, from the defensive spine, you had Van Dijk in there, you had Matip in there. From the midfield, you had guys like Wijnaldum in there, Wijnaldum in there.
When Van Dijk makes a mistake or any of these players make, the way Jordan Henderson will go at you on the pitch, he exerts and exudes that leadership on the field of play.
Well, for me, allow me to be biased, but I think that this City team, if Manchester United now were in Arsenal's position,
you think United will not give up the title?
They will not bottle it.
Who is that?
Because you look through the ranks of this Manchester United team. Too many leaders in there. Take away your good friend Casemiro from them. No, your good friend Maguire take away Maguire. I was saying Maguire. You understand? I mean, assuming that you had Varane and Lisandro Martinez fate. You understand? Those two are class at the back. Those two exude a lot of confidence. Those two are able to chide the rest of the teammates, you understand? Then in midfield, you have somebody like Bruno Fernandes. I think that he's a de facto leader. I think that he's a naturally born
Bruno
leader.
Fernandes is a crybaby.
No, I mean, Look at this. I don't think that.
As brilliant as he is a player, he's a crybaby, and he doesn't even deserve for me to captain Manchester United. And I agree with what Roy Keane and some of these old players have come to say post some of his performances, and how emotionally he breaks down and lets go of his emotions too easily on the field of play, saying that he wants the team to win and it gets at. That is not what a leader does. He's a crybaby. I agree. United have I think they have more leaders than Arsenal, but don't bring in Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, Bruno
Leave that guy out there. He's a crybaby.
Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic leader. I mean, the leaders come in various categories. But so I think that back to that issue about leadership, I think that Arsenal need to look at that particular.
Who in that Arsenal team? Because
you know why? I
see
was
anybody who can get into the heads of these young players, galvanize them to say, listen, we cannot let this thing go. I don't think Granit Xhaka can do it. I don't think Odegaard, that guy is too soft for me as a captain. I don't think Saka can do it. Maybe they should look at the goalkeeper. Ramsdale.
Yeah,
Ramsdale has that personality. Exactly. Ramsdale has that personality.
He looks a solid player. But the point is
simple. If push comes to shove, who do you think can be the leader in that Arsenal team?
Well, I think that if push comes to shove, I'd rather give it to Gabriel.
Gabriel, the defender.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, I hold that assertion that defenders are the best captains.
Because of their organization.
Yes, I've always held that assertion that, listen, I love all the captains, but if a defender is a captain, you're able to galvanize the team from the back, you understand? You're able to let organization run through the various points. Because, I mean, I just looked at the game one more time. In fact, before I just walked in, I was looking at the game one more time. The moment Arsenal lost their lead, every good thing about them fell apart. I mean, Odegaard.
I have an issue with the leadership on the field of play. I felt they lost it.
It's a natural. Was losing passes, simple passes you'd expect Odegaard. That's why I tell you.
Westham had gotten into their heads.
They got into their heads.
Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal have proven that they are frail mentally. And forgive me, by a team that is this frail mentally. Listen, the icing will be put on the cake when they go to the Etihad.
Next week, Wednesday.
When they go to
Not
the
this
Etihad.
coming Wednesday.
Yes, the next Wednesday. When
yeah.
they go to the Etihad, in the first 30 minutes, they have taken 3 goals.
Would you be surprised if Arsenal beat City at the Etihad?
It won't happen.
It
won't happen. It won't happen. Not in this dispensation or the next.
There's no way Arsenal can beat
It
City
will
at the
not
Etihad.
happen. It will not happen.
I'm looking at a scenario which clearly looks like that's the case because City are bound to go through in the Champions League. We'll do a quick, review of the Champions League and we'll preview what's happening. When City know that they are safe into the semi-finals, they will come all guns blazing on
Lucky,
Arsenal.
probably you do not know the magnitude of the statement you just put out there. Listen,
they will come all guns blazing because they know we are through, we are safe.
Listen, look at a team like Bayern. For 45 minutes, Bayern were almost toe-to-toe with City. The moment City saw a weakness in them, they exploited it and magnified it. This is Bayern. This is Bayern coached by Tuchel.
City could have scored actually more
I
than
am
the
telling
goals.
you. When I looked at the game, I started saying a prayer.
No, to scare you guys, but I don't think that. I think the game will be close because I've watched City,
it will not be close.
I've watched City play Arsenal this season, one at the Etihad and one in the FA Cup, and I think it was pretty close. And I will agree.
Let me tell you something.
But it was pretty close.
Let me tell you something.
Especially in the FA Cup.
You know why? In the FA Cup game, there was a lot of changes. They rang a lot of changes. Both teams rang a lot of changes. You know why it will not be close? When they played at the Etihad, Arsenal had a safe net. You understand? Arsenal had a buffer, a safe buffer. They knew that they could afford to drop points and then they will still go on to win. Listen, potentially, they could go to the Etihad with just a 1-point differential.
No, by the time they get to the Etihad, it will still be 4 points because this coming Sunday, City have an FA Cup game.
FA Cup game.
If Arsenal win their game, it will actually be they will cushion themselves back to the 7-point lead. If Arsenal win over the weekend, the lead would be cushioned back to 7 points. So when they go to the Etihad on Wednesday, that midweek game on the 26th, and let's say Bayern, hypothetically, City beat them, it will be back to 4 points. City have a game in hand, which looks like I think there's one of these smaller teams. City wins, it becomes just a point game.
No. City will have 2 games.
But I'm saying
if Arsenal plays over this weekend, City will have 2 outstanding games.
City will have 2 outstanding games. If City wins all of them, City will actually lead them by 2 points.
Exactly. So the point is that Arsenal are no longer in control of their destiny.
No, they are.
No, they are
because
not.
If they win the game against City,
that is if
they win. So they are in control of their destiny.
City, they will be cushioned by 2 points.
Yes.
You understand? They will be cushioned by 2 points.
Yes.
But they are not in control of their destinies at this material time. Because as it stands now, City have a game in hand and then have to play Arsenal at the Etihad.
Possibly they would have 2 games in hand before that game can
and
happen.
That game that Arsenal plays against Chelsea. No, Nottingham Forest.
Yes, Arsenal actually come back home and play Chelsea this weekend.
Yes.
Arsenal are playing Chelsea this weekend. Whilst Yes, they play against Southampton on Friday. Come on, Arsenal will maul them by 6 or 7. That's what I'm saying. By the time Arsenal get to the Etihad, Arsenal
they
have
go
close
to
about
St. Mary's.
No, they play at home. They will Southampton that Crystal Palace at home. Crystal Palace beat them by 3-0. Arsenal beat them by 7. By the time Arsenal gets to the Etihad, Arsenal have a 7-point cushion with City having 2 games in hand. Exactly. So let's put that on record. So, and it's not a given that City are going to win all those 2 games in hand. If you are Arteta, quickly before we probably close the docket on this Arsenal discussion, if you are Arteta, what would you tell your boys going into that game on? Because I know Sunday they will beat Southampton. If Arsenal drop points on Sunday, I give up on Friday. Sorry, I give up on Arsenal because I've done my bit. I've supported them from day one, but Arsenal cannot drop points against Southampton on Friday. I know they will beat them.
Today's Sunday, right?
Today's Sunday, which is
on the lighter side. If I were Arteta, share the link. Share the link. You understand?
I need to join Alpha
Hour. I'm telling you, join Alpha Hour. I mean, because now you need strength from above.
Arsenal needs some divine intervention.
No, but if I were Arteta,
what would you tell your boys? How would you galvanize these?
Well,
because it looks like they are broken psychologically.
I would urge the boys to do what they have done all season,
which is
play to your maximum best, keep grinding. Like you said, there could be twists and turns in the final bend when it comes to the league proper. You understand? So just play to your best, play to your greatest strength, and just keep going on. I mean, ignore all of the noise that is being circulated that is being bandied about in the background, and then just keep on going, keep grinding, keep pushing. I do not think Arteta can do any more than that at this material time. The truth of the matter is that they need to keep grinding and to hope that City falters somewhere.
But like you said, in your intro, as the commentator said, when City are on this run of form, when they are playing this way, they've done it consistently for about 3-4 seasons. I don't know what happens. They decide to
switch to
another gear, especially during this time of the season. Last season, they went 12 games unbeaten. 2018, 2019, when they did that to Liverpool, they went 19 games unbeaten. Now they are on an 8-game unbeaten run. And they do not seem like they are stopping anytime soon. There seems not to be any weakness in that City team. All of a sudden, Rodri has picked up form. Ruben Diaz has picked up form again. Akanji is playing, some amazing football. Your man John Stones has fitted into a system that people are not used to seamlessly. When City on this run of form, like you said,
we do not want to bore listeners and viewers with this whole City run, but the thing with City is the lack of the presence of surprisism about them.
Yeah.
You do not know which City team tempts are. Because listen, if you've watched City in the last few weeks, Pep Guardiola has at times gone with a back four full of central defenders. So he plays Nitanaki on the right fullback. He plays John Stones in midfield. He plays somebody like Akanji on the left.
At right back, actually.
Yeah, Akanji at right, Nitanaki on the left. You understand? Ruben Diaz, whoever he pairs with, Akanji or whatever. You understand? So you do not know. You do not know which City team turns up.
You know, he did something interesting in that Bayern game. I was as much as John Stones played as an inverted fullback, where he slotted into the midfield most of the time. What he did against Bayern Munich, especially when they got control of the game, was when they have the ball. Instead of John Stones, we expect that. When Bayern have the ball, we expect that John Stones will slot into the right back position, he would rather slot into the central midfield position and actually increase their number at the center back position. So instead of they having 4 at the back, they actually have 5 at the back, preventing the pace that the threat that Bayern pose. So, like you said, you don't know what Pep Guardiola is thinking. But let me take some comments and messages from the comment section, and we'll come back and continue with the discussion. So, it's over for Arsenal. They will not win the league. In February, we had only 1 point, losing to Everton and City. That man, people said they bottled it. This is just a blip. We can still do it. This is coming from Zongo Media. Zongo Media comes back again and says Manchester United can never be in Arsenal's position with Maguire, Bruno, Anthony in the squad. Again, Zongo Media says that Zinchenko, Xhaka, Gabriel, Jorginho are all leaders. That's a bit questionable, because today we did not see the leadership quality in these players, because I was expecting that when Westham got into their heads and Arsenal switched off, I was expecting somebody to step up and whip these boys up into shape. This is coming from George Pamfo Sidakovi. Please be careful about Lord Maguire. So lots of comments coming in there. Guys, keep your comments coming. I would read them as and when we go ahead. But please, those watching us from Europe, from the Americas, the super stickers, encourage the team with the super stickers. Keep supporting us with those super stickers. We appreciate them so much. But make sure you subscribe as well. We are live on Tadi FM 99.1. Kofi, Chelsea. I didn't want us to talk about Chelsea. I didn't want us to talk so much about Chelsea, but I'm looking at what is happening with Chelsea, and Lampard, 3 games in charge, he's yet to win a single game.
He's the worst caretaker coach.
They are not playing, and I think that on Saturday, it was not so much of what Lampard failed to do right. It was so much of everything that Brighton did and everything awful that the players did. I think that loss was solely down to the players. And Lampard said that in his press conference about the lack of fighting spirit and the character about these players. Let's look at that. We've spoken extensively about the coaching bit of Chelsea, the problem with the coaching aspect. But let's look at the players and the characters in that Chelsea team.
How do you blame the players?
How don't you blame the players yesterday? Did you see Raheem Sterling? He was not. I do not know if he was not happy playing the game. Did you see Raheem Sterling?
How do you blame the players?
Do you see Cucurella yesterday?
No. How do you blame the players? I do not think that anybody who knows football and understands the tenets of football would blame the players. I said it. I have been consistent that the issues with Chelsea now, they were always coming. It's down to ownership and the decisions that have been taken at the board level.
How do you blame ownership for poor performances on the pitch like we saw on Saturday?
Listen. What is the motivation to play in this Chelsea team if you're a player?
But prior to they finding themselves in this situation, Chelsea could have made Europe. So where were all these players? Where were they when they could have put Chelsea into Europe?
Where were these players?
Where were they?
How many first team players do Chelsea have at this material time?
Chelsea have lots of first team players.
Do you think it's easy to organize them as a coach?
So
it's not easy.
As a manager, you look at what you can work with and work with them.
How do you work with 60, 70 million pound players and then neglect other 60, 70 million pound, 80
How has
million?
Pep Guardiola been able to do that consistently for years?
No, Pep Guardiola has been able to do that because he's molded a squad that he wants.